Hey guys! So today I wanted to go over our time lapse of the palette knife landscape. So we're going to be starting with our palette knife. We're going to be filling in all of these different shapes and forms with it. And then we're going to be using the gel medium finally, right? Hooray! Okay, so here we go. I want you guys to be watching the screen with it. All right, so here is the start of the palette knife painting. I'm starting to fill in all of the backgrounds with the darkest areas first. So I have these dark areas I have over here with the background of it. Remember, I'm actually going with the little bridge is what I wanted to create. And now I'm starting to add in the sky up here. So what I did when I started adding in the shapes and forms to my painting is I went with these straight vertical lines of trees, and then I had my bridge down in the back, and then I have my stream coming out this way. So I have the darkest green that I want with my forest. I have the darkest kind of like a blue black mixture. I used phthalo blue with it and a little bit of red, so it was a really dark plum color. And now I'm starting to add in the really bright blues of my sky up at the top. Now with this, I'm just using my plain brush. I'm using acrylic paint, plain brush. I haven't added any gel medium into it. I won't add the gel medium into it until I'm starting my palette knife. So to continue, now I have a lighter blue on here. And then what I did is I took that lighter blue and I started to bring it down and blend it in with my forest down below. Now I'm doing this, you guys, because I am going to be adding in the trees on top of it. So I want to be sure that I can see the sky behind the trees itself too. And now you're starting to see the shape of the bridge beginning. Now down here, you can see I still have my brush. I'm still using just the plain brush. I want all of the entire background to be filled in with that color blocking way that we did with our portraits earlier on in the year or in the semester. We're going to be color blocking our landscape in the same way and then adding in all of the accents in with our palette knife. All right, here it goes. So I have my stream going, and now I'm starting back with the clouds. So down here I added in the blue for my stream, and then I came back up and I started adding in a really, really dark shade with the clouds. Now my clouds are going to be this dark by the end of it. I want to start with the darkest bit of my clouds because that'll give them the most value and the most idea that it's a three-dimensional landscape on this two-dimensional surface, which is, the hardest part about being an artist is creating that three-dimensional space on a completely flat surface. So we have to use that illusion. And a part of that illusion for this is going to be the value structure of our colors. All right, yay! So I started then next with my palette knife. So the first thing I did is I mixed up my colors. I mixed up 3 different colors that I would be adding into my stream. I mixed up blue, a medium shade, and then a lightest shade with lots of white into it. Then I scooped up a whole bunch on my palette knife of gel, and I started squishing that gel into my mixture of paint. Now I went ahead and mixed it into all 3 different shades because with my water, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down these very long lines of my shade, and then I'm going to take my palette knife, I'm going to kind of move it like this, and I'm going to scrape it across all of those colors so that they'll start to touch and blend in right there where the lines were. There we go. I'm starting to blend them in a little bit more. All those scrapes of color. There we go. Now I started also to add it into the center of my tunnel. So I have this really dark shade, and then I added in a little bit of a lighter color down below, right in here with it, because I wanted that to really reflect the light that's reflecting off of the stream, that's reflecting into the tunnel. So I'm trying to decide where that light source is and how it's reflecting off of the water. There we go. Nice. Let's watch it all again. So we have our darkest colors, filling it in, green space, adding in my blue for my sky, starting to mix it in with the forest behind it, blue for my water, gray for my clouds. Here comes the palette knife, squish, 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 all the way across it. Turquoise, blue, phthalo blue, plain blue, gel medium, palette knife, squishing more, spreading it across. and then up into the tunnel. Nice. All right, guys. Well, if you do have any questions, please do watch this video multiple times. Message me on our messaging system if you need it. Email me if you need to, but I'm excited to see these. I know we've all been waiting a couple of weeks to get started on our palette knife landscape, so I know you're going to do a great job. You did a wonderful job with your fruit studies.